The Weekly Warm Pipe.
All right, spooky season is still here. We're keeping with the theme. I know last week we did top 10 classic
costumes.
Halloween costumes. So we wanted to follow suit with the following week, and we're doing top 10 classic Halloween movies.
That's right.
Essentially, could be from any decade. Me and Jay made our own list. We'll see what pops up. I'm sure we're gonna have some matching ones as well. Maybe we'll do more than 10. I don't know. When we get inspired and see other ones we can throw in at the end. We'll see. I don't know. It's our podcast. Do what we want.
That's right. Don't even say nothing about it. You can't do what we do.
But we appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to check out the website. You know, we got videos on there. Hey, write a review. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or Google, all that, you could do reviews on there. So you can like listening, give us some feedback.
Give us a 1-sentence review, 1-word review. Awesome.
I think you're gonna say 1-star review.
No, not 1 star. One word.
Sentence. 1 word.
As long as that word isn't a bad word.
That's true. How often are you watching scary movies for October, Jay? Like, do you try to make it a point to watch a few, or?
So that's funny is like I don't actually love scary movies.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I'm a big chicken. Like, I remember when I watched Saw in the theaters, I was like, why did I come here? Why did I
will say that's a little different of horror, like a shock horror.
Yeah,
so
and
maybe,
I watched like this.
Because that's, gruesome and all that, but comparing that to some other type of horror.
But also, I don't like anything involving evil spirits or demons.
Yeah.
So I won't watch any kind of exorcist movie. Aliens freak me out. Although I will say I did enjoy The Fourth Kind. And by enjoy, I mean I stayed up the next 4 nights hoping I didn't get abducted. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm weird like that.
Okay.
I'm easily influenced.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like if your wife wanted to watch something,
you would probably go home and just be like, "Oh, that was a good movie." Go to sleep. I would go home and like ponder on that for like days. And be like, "What if that's real?" I don't know. I'm
what
weirdo.
if that scenario actually happened? What would I do?
Well, I mean, like I don't know because I believe in heaven and hell. I do believe like and plus there's just a lot of crap in the world we don't really understand. Like, I mean, Tom DeLonge was coming out with these videos and is proving UAPs are real, and I'm like, that's my worst nightmare. Like, aliens just gonna beam in your room. There's no stopping them. You can't do anything to defeat the Greys. They have these huge brains, and they just put their thoughts right into your head, and you don't know. You can't defend yourself against them. Shoot a gun, they'll probably freeze the bullet with their brain. I'm going on a tangent here. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. I try to watch some. I would love to
I totally didn't answer the question.
I would love to do the 31 days of Halloween, watching a scary movie every day. A lot of my friends post reviews of like movies that they've watched, so I'll kind of read that. And again, I mentioned I like watching Cinemassacre's Monster Madness that they do with reviews of different movies and this and that. It's tough though, like what movies are hour and a half, 2 hours to give out that time every single day in October, plus make time to like, oh, we're going to this fall festival or whatever. So it's definitely tough to do, but I do try to get a few in. I think we only watched 2 so far.
The scariest thing I've watched so far this month is Castlevania.
Yeah.
The new Castlevania series. And then I started watching today on my lunch break that show I was telling you about the Kentucky demon things.
Oh, yes.
What did I call that? What did I say that show was called?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, you're mentioning it.
I'm gonna have to look. It's the name of the town, whatever the Kentucky town name
Right,
is.
it was something odd.
Yes, it was called...
I can't put my tongue on it. I don't know.
Hellier.
Yeah.
And it had this little creepy guy on the front that you can see if you're watching the
it's YouTube like they obviously chose that because it has the word hell in it. So then it makes you think,
Well, no,
horror stuff.
because the Hellier is the name of the town.
Well, coincidence.
Yeah, it really is hell. So that's the one.
All right, let's get to this list.
Sorry. Hey, that should be a podcast though. All my weird theories about
About what? About everything? About
about
aliens? About
ghosts and aliens and demons and
we could talk
witches.
about that on Warpipe Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a sub topic.
Maybe that's what we'll do next week. We'll see.
All right, so movies you want to put on during the spooky season and watch. Most of these on my list I've seen more than once, or I'll try to watch them during this season if I have time or catch it. And obviously, the biggest one you have to put on if you're doing classic spooky movies, Halloween, the first Halloween movie,
Yeah,
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. I remember
Mhm.
seeing Halloween H2O in theaters, but I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen the original.
Yeah, the original certainly has a different feel, and my wife only seen it. I want to say 2 years ago was the first time. Like she's never seen it, and I was like, "Oh, let's put it on." Like, it's a slow paced horror movie because he's like stalking Laurie Strode throughout it. It's not. It doesn't jump out and like stabbings and killings and all this like that. It leads up to okay, it's Halloween. Halloween night finally comes and things are starting to go crazy. So it certainly has that nice vibe. Um, and I always liked when I watched AVGN talk about the movie and stuff. It's like if you put it on Halloween night at the right time, maybe 5 o'clock, while the movie progresses, it also slowly gets darker outside,
Oh
much like
wow,
it is
that's
in the movie, and
oh I
then it
don't like that.
starts getting creepier outside and in the movie. So puts you in a good mood and good vibe, I'd say, for this
A good
spooky season.
mood, a
A
scared
good
mood,
scary movie, scary mood.
a bad mood.
Oh, I did. Fun fact, since this came up I was watching a video. When obviously everyone knows the Michael Myers mask is William Shatner mask that they found at like the local drugstore that was selling masks. It was between that and this like clown looking mask, but all they did was paint the mask white and
Mhm.
cut the eye holes out a little bit bigger. They said when they went to film the second movie, all they had was like the one mask and they needed more. And that William Shatner mask wasn't popular, so to say. So they couldn't just go get more.
Right.
And lucky enough, inside the mask was a phone number. And
No
they
way.
called the distributor and they're like, yeah, we'll send you like a whole case of masks. Just credit us in the movie. So then
That's
they got
amazing.
a whole bunch. So they're able to.
There's a similar story. This is slightly off topic. There's a similar story to the Nintendo Power with Castlevania 2. Like Simon Belmont's holding Dracula's head. It's like
Yes.
actually a mask. And it's like this one specific mask. And
Oh,
it was
okay.
kind of hard to find. There's a video on YouTube about it, but pretty interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be a nice deep dive there. I'm curious to see. I'll be attending the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and I'm not sure if this guy's going, but I know one of the guys that lives out in the West Coast there. He actually collects the props that were used to take the photos for the Nintendo Power
Hmm.
issues. So he has
I
like
think he has that mask.
so I was gonna say curious, that'd be cool because he has like the Mega Man that's made out of clay, like the Dr. Wily spaceship, like a whole bunch of cool stuff. And I'm like, how do you even come across that? Like that's like one of one.
Yeah, exactly. Like where like how did you find that? The interesting thing about those clay molds is like you don't only the front sides may like
Oh,
form, the
decorated
back
or
side's like
yeah.
flat, you know.
Oh, okay. Because it's like why waste time doing that? Because you're not gonna see it.
Right. Russ gets it.
Perfect. All right. What do you got on your list, Jay?
All right. We're going with the super duper classic psychological thriller. Um Jack Nicholson stars in The Shining.
Nice. Yeah. That wasn't on my
Here's
list, but
Johnny.
that's a good one. Again with slow burn on that one.
Yeah.
Isolation. They're going up to the hotel and
Yep.
Everything's kind of happy,
Slowly
bright,
progressing.
and slowly.
Red rum.
And talk about theories.
Yeah.
My God, there's so many theories around that movie.
I
Uh,
love, how they make fun of it slash pay homage, on The Simpsons, where they do the Halloween, what's it called?
Treehouse of Horrors.
Treehouse of Horrors, yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. He goes, "All work and no play makes Homer something something." And Marge is like, "Go crazy?" He's like, "Don't mind if I do." Love it.
I think I added that clip in my Halloween special one
I
year. I want
hope
to
you
say,
did.
if not, I'll add it in this year.
If you didn't, you can again.
That's a good one. I mean, yeah, we're talking movies, but certainly the if we end up doing cartoons, the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Let's see, classic on my list. I chose. Most people probably say right Friday the 13th, but I went with Friday the 13th Part Two
Because it's got more Jason in it?
'cause it has Jason in it. Two, one, it's just his mom. All right,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is a classic, but I want to see Jason. Technically, he doesn't even have. I don't think he has the mask in two either.
Do you know what I love about the first one, though?
Okay,
You know my favorite scene in that whole movie is? The
no.
very end,
Okay,
everything's calm,
yes.
they're on the lake, but they're okay. Last second, he pops out of the water and it's
RKO out of nowhere.
yeah, yep. I don't know why, but the first time I ever saw that, when I was old enough to appreciate it, I laughed so hard at that part because I it scared me and I didn't expect it.
Wow,
But
yeah.
instead of like uh, a visceral reaction, I just started laughing because I got a
Didn't
kick
know
out
what
of
to
the
do.
fact that it got me.
I ended up getting, I think someone had gotten in like a loot crate or something. It was a Jason mask signed by the actor who played Jason in that scene.
Oh,
So
that's
it was
cool.
kind of
That's interesting.
interesting where it's like, well, he technically never wore the mask. He was just the boy,
He was just boy.
but technically, yes, he's Jason.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of, good kills in it for sure in that one. And, you got your iconic Jason on there. Spooky time. Jason's a good mascot for Halloween, I'd say.
I only remember seeing those movies on like USA Up All Night, like around
Right. Yep.
Halloween, where a lot of it was cut out. Couldn't
That's
be
what I was gonna
shown.
say. Yeah, censored for sure. So you gotta and then plus commercials. So you're trying to enjoy it, and then it's like Jason's about to stab someone, and they're like, "We'll be right back."
But as a
No,
kid, I loved commercials,
that's true.
so didn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
So you said Friday 13th Part Two. I said one, and the
Oh, you
reason
chose
is,
one.
yeah, I
Okay.
did choose one, and I understand Jason's not really in it other than the child version, but it is a classic, and I do get a kick out of him popping out of the water for some reason at the end.
So a fun fact. Many years ago, me, my friend John, and his wife took a trip to Jersey where that was filmed.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Um, It wasn't at the lake part, but there's in the opening scene of the movie, it shows this girl kind of walking in downtown and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and she passes this building, and whatever building was, it was a movie theater, and they showed the movie in that building. So we
Oh
got to see
wow.
the movie in there, and then we ate at the diner that is also in the movie. So we
Oh,
stopped at the
sick.
diner, and I was like, "Oh, look, I'm having a Crystal Lake water."
Once again, we're talking about food.
But yeah, that was pretty neat to see. I've only went once, but they did have trips where they could bring you to like the cabins and stuff like that, so it's a little more involved.
Very cool.
All right, what else we got on the list? A little more lighthearted. I chose Monster Squad,
Okay, there you go. Good.
so similar to Goonies, but with monsters. It's young
There you
kid.
go.
They got their monster club. Wolfman's got nards is the famous line. Kick him in the
Wolfman's
nards. Kick him
got
in the nards.
nards. Nards. A great
Yeah,
word.
I really enjoyed it. Oh, and it's coming out on Blu-ray, I think, this year too. I think I saw something on there and they explained like, oh, it's be great because it's gonna be uh so clear you can kind of see what they filmed it on using, 85 millimeter or whatever. So you can almost, I guess it doesn't really make sense, but it's gonna be so clear you can see the grit.
See the graininess of it?
Right. To appreciate that.
That's funny.
Um,
That's cool though.
but yeah, it didn't do super great, I guess, when it came out in theaters, but then it got a like cult following and people seem to appreciate it more. Uh,
What's sad is I don't know that I've ever watched Monster Squad. Isn't that
yeah,
sad?
I think I showed it to my wife too. She missed out on it there as well. But yeah, it's just one of those 80s like fun movies. Again, if it's similar to Goonies, because you got a group of young kids and then they're going up against these monsters. And it's a good time. Lot of quotable lines in that movie.
Was Feldman in that?
He
Corey?
no, he wasn't in that one.
Okay. Just
No.
thought he might be.
He was in a few other ones that would almost make the list. Maybe I'll bring it up at the end. They weren't on my list though.
All right. So next on my list, this is a 90s classic. And this is a movie that I was very nervous to watch. And to me, the opening scene of it is pretty scary actually. That movie is Scream.
It's on my list.
I
It's
freaking
two
love
up. It's two up. Yeah.
I love Drew Barrymore at that beginning.
Yep.
Um, when she's making the popcorn, she's in that
Right.
nice house in the kitchen,
It's so relatable. I think that's what
and
hit with
yeah, and
most people.
she's talking on the phone, and then all of a sudden, like, and I think the other thing that's creepy is I don't find the Scream mask creepy anymore, but at the time it was like this perfect mask. It's like this expressionless face. It's very
Right.
elongated, kind of weird looking. I don't know, it really worked for that movie, and I loved Drew Barrymore at the beginning. I hate she had to die so soon, but, yeah, I loved that
Well, I think
movie.
that's
Cool
probably
plot twist.
a good plot because you think like Drew Barrymore, okay, pretty good high name actor. Like
Yeah,
she's not gonna get killed in this scene, right? Because
surely
she's
not.
big time. Boom, killed.
Done.
Scream title comes up. You're like, what?
What
We
just
don't know what to
happened?
expect. Yeah, and it made plenty more sequels.
Had a
I
great soundtrack too. Remember the school's out for summer?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of that. That should be an episode there. 90s movies with great soundtracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly a ton on the list. Yeah, I had Scream on my list as well. It was coming up on the number 5 spot, but number 4 was The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Ooh, that's a great choice.
I figured I had to choose classic cartoon, for sure. It does have a cereal if you wanna get it. It's mediocre,
I I am a
according to my wife.
champion of I liked it.
You
I
liked
think
it,
you should
Jay.
get your own box.
Jay
Dang
approves.
it, I was at Target tonight, and I meant to buy some Frankenberry, and I forgot. Frick,
Blast. So is tomorrow.
that's right.
Yeah, Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I haven't seen it in quite some time, but I mean, what?
But
It's short. It's
as a
simple.
kid, did you not look forward to those TV episodes?
Right.
Like,
I
I
mean,
remember my mom would be like, for Christmas, "Hey, Jay, Rudolph's coming on tonight or Frosty's coming on tonight," and I'd be like, "Best night ever. Let's go. Freaking Rudolph and Frosty, let's do this." And I was probably the same about Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
that's a good point that you bring up. Yeah, it's like it's almost we probably looked in TV Guide.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If kids don't know what that is, listen to so it's this book that had
Tells you
all the
what's coming on
programming.
TV.
Right. So you can look ahead what scary movies are coming up, and you're like, oh, Charlie
And
Brown.
sometimes they would even advertise, like, the specials like that in the newspaper.
Oh, true.
Yeah, because you might get, like, a window of the TV for that day on your newspaper if you didn't have
So this way you
TV
can
Guide.
plan your week around. Okay, Charlie Brown's going to be on Thursday at this time. Let's make sure we finish dinner and get ready to watch some
And
Charlie Brown on
I
TV.
that and nothing like those little specials got me in the spirit of whatever the holiday at the time was.
Well, like you mentioned too, where you got the Charlie Brown special you're watching, and then TV commercials would come on, which are also themed
Oh, yeah.
around
There was, like, this
spooky time
great Doritos commercial where, like, I can't
with
remember Fry
Frankenstein's monster,
I
right?
think he was in it, and there was also, like, this really good Reese cup one. It's like the vampire eats it and leaves his fangs. It's like, there's no wrong way to eat the Reese's. Like, oh man, like commercials are great back then.
Yeah, what was it? It was trying to remember if it was, I think, yeah, Dorito commercial, and Frankenstein's monster was like, there was like a crash truck or something, and he like came back carrying some Doritos, and then he was at the party, and I think Dracula was there, and he was like, "What? No drinks?"
Oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and
Oh
he's gonna go
yeah,
back down the road.
that's great. Love it.
Nice. That could be another episode too.
There we go. That's what we should do.
Great
Halloween
pumpkin trailer
commercials.
ground. I think you're up. What else you got?
Okay. So this is a movie I saw in the 90s. Is I think I saw it in the 90s. Maybe it was early 2000s. Um, it was like that perfect level of scary where I wasn't too scared because I'm a big scaredy cat, but I enjoyed it. Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, okay, yeah. That one would, yeah, definitely the first one
Yeah,
was
the first one's
creepy.
good.
I saw it in the theater for sure, and that creeped me out for sure.
Yes, that one actually didn't creep me out. I think at that point maybe I had sacked up a little bit
Well,
and
also it had who's the guy actor?
Justin Furlong? No, that's the dude from Terminator. Or
Um,
is that his name? Is Justin Long? I don't know.
I think Justin Long.
Justin somebody.
I'll look it up, but him in that role, I was like almost like, oh, okay, like because he was in some other comedy movie. Justin Long,
Okay, yeah, yeah. I liked
yeah,
him in that.
and I was like, oh, okay, and I like the lore around it.
Yeah.
This monster where he's like he goes into hibernation,
Yep.
comes out,
That's
and
the body parts.
that truck was like,
The truck was creepy.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Someone brought up because there's been many Jeepers Creepers movies and this and that, and so the truck is like an old, um, I don't even know what kind of truck it would be, like utility truck, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's just weird looking.
And his license plate was
Be eating you.
"Be eating you," and then someone was bringing up like, did the monster go to the DMV and
Yeah.
register this plate, or
Yep.
like,
He's like, "Hey, I need just to say beating you."
but so I think someone mentioned, I guess,
That is funny.
maybe he got the truck from someone who he killed and they had it. Maybe he was a butcher or something. I don't know.
Who
Who
knows?
knows? But Jeepers Creepers,
Jeepers Creepers, good movie. Liked it.
that's a good one. What else did I put? Maybe it's on your list, maybe not. Ghostbusters, right? Ghost Time, Ghostbusters, classic Halloween movie. Think it should make the list for sure.
So we're gonna look behind the curtain for just a second. Jay's a slacker and didn't make his list, so I'm making it on the fly right now.
You want to add Ghostbusters?
I would like to put Ghostbusters on the
You,
list.
you can do Ghostbusters too.
Oh, you know what? I totally did Ghostbusters too. No, I freaking love Ghostbusters so much though. I remember in the 2000s, uh, I lived in this little apartment my mom had built behind her house, and I had inherited all my brother's VHS tapes that he recorded years prior off HBO. So they're like all these home videos with like the labels stuck on them, and so I popped in Ghostbusters, and it was like the first time I watched it where I did get scared because the gatekeeper and the all those things used to freak me out as a child. And when she
Oh,
had all those
okay.
bubbles on her, I didn't like that, you know.
Right. Oh,
And
your
when the
gozer,
things
yeah.
when its eyes glue red, I wasn't a fan, but I actually enjoyed that movie. Slimer
Yeah.
creeped me out. Everything creeped me out.
Jeez. It's not for you.
Scaredy cat.
We ended up going a few weeks to New York City, and we went by the library where um they come out, and there's like
All
the
the books are
lions
flying.
or like
Oh,
the outside of it.
oh, that part creeped me out so much too because when the librarian like screams
Oh, right.
like that freaked me out, and all the books are flying around. Yeah, but obviously now I love it. But when I was a little kid, terrified me.
Terrified. And it was definitely horror movies or spooky movies have evolved from what they were back in the 80s and all that. So different stuff, I guess, will freak other people out. Or much like Jay said, certain things scare him, like spiritual stuff, demons and ghosts and aliens. So
That's right. Don't like no aliens. Don't like no demons.
what else you got?
Um. So I got the next one as Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoy the
Like as
part
the series or as
the
the
movie.
movie?
I really enjoy the part where, like, that demon is on the wing
Oh, I was just thinking
or
about
that
that the other day
monster.
because
He's,
I
like,
was on a plane
scratching,
and I was like, look, I get the window seat. I'm like,
like,
wonder if a monster did
hopefully there's no monster out there scratching the wing. But, I really like that part, and once again, they made fun of that on, Treehouse of Horrors.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's when like a movie's classic where it's on The Simpsons,
Yep, the best parodies. But I
plenty
don't
of
know,
other parodies. Yeah,
because that would be terrifying. You're on this plane, you look out, and there's this little critter, he's tearing the plane up, and you're going down.
yeah, everyone's gonna perish.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a classic one for sure.
And then
I'm sure
there's
my mom watching it.
the other one on there is, like, where the kid can read everybody's thoughts,
Oh yes, and
and, like,
everyone's very like particular,
everyone's on the
like
edge
what
because
they're
they're
saying.
trying not to think anything negative because he's gonna get angry and make it happen. And I think,
Right.
like, at one point, the Tasmanian devil comes out of the TV.
Yes.
Like, that was wild.
Wow. Yeah, it's been a minute since I seen that as because they had that as a movie and they also had um what was it like Tales from the Dark Side
Yeah.
as a movie as well, where it was like these anthology shows were like, all right, we'll also
Mhm.
do a movie.
Yep.
But it's basically just you
Like,
get a
free
few episodes
movies.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was rad.
Side note, I do like unfortunately they took it down, but going to Disney for the what the heck, the like Twilight Zone the ride where you drop, what the heck
Drop
was it
Zone?
called? Not Drop Zone, I think it was called Drop Zone. Um not House on Haunted Hill. I can't think of what the heck the ride name was, but it was themed on Twilight Zone where
Okay.
you go up to the top and it just dropped. Oh, Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. Okay,
Tower
yes.
of Terror. It has since, if you go to California, been remade into the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Oh, lame.
But in Florida, it is still Tower of Terror.
That's where I went in Florida.
Right. And you go in and they're talking about the Twilight Zone and the hotel's been hit by lightning and there's ghosts and this and that. So I always enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, what else we got here? Um Going back to cartoons.
Ooh, what you got up? What else
I
cartoons you
get
got?
cartoon stop animation, but Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, and I have
Right?
this right in front of me.
Yeah, your watch for Burger King. I didn't wear my hat this time. Got my Jason
Great
hat on there.
movie. Amazing movie. Classic.
And doubles down. You can watch it again for Christmas.
That's right. So I saw Nightmare Before Christmas as a kid. Saw it, liked it, got to watch it Burger King, didn't really think anything else about it. And in my early 20s, I developed this crazy, like, I was going in Hot Topic a lot, shopping there, and they had like this after Christmas sale where it was like 50% or 75% off. It was so cheap. I got
Yeah.
all this stuff for my bathroom. Had a whole Nightmare Before Christmas bathroom. It was amazing. And then I guess it was before that, um, Blink-182 came out with "I Miss You," and they said, "We can live like Jack and Sally if we want," so that
Right.
was cool. But there was this one day where I was at my mom's house, and I was like, "Man, I really have this urge to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas."
Hmm.
Just I don't know where it came from. And I was at my mom's, and I was making dinner, and it was, like, midnight, because I would go over there and make, like, grilled cheese, like, super late at night. And, there's this little TV in her kitchen, and so I had the TV on, and this was a Saturday going into a Sunday.
Okay.
So very, very, very early Sunday morning, and they would replay the Saturday afternoon show at midnight, and wouldn't you know it, it was the friggin' Nightmare Before Christmas, and it, like, blew my mind that I had wanted to see this movie. I had been thinking about it just, like, moments prior,
Yeah.
and there it comes on. I was like, "This is thank you, Jesus."
You're like, I got my grilled cheese ready to go.
It was unbelievable, like, what are the chances?
Yeah. And I think that I'm trying to think if that was an episode on the movies that made us or one of those episodes.
Might have been
Because I remember seeing a bunch about Danny Elfman
scoring it
behind the scenes of that where he
because he sang, right?
he's sang in it, but they didn't want him to. do the talking parts, the speaking parts.
Only the singing.
Right. So I was like, all right, it's definitely hard to match like your speaking to your singing. You don't want it drastically different when they start singing. You're like, who's this person?
Yeah, Danny
So
Elfman, dude, he is him and John. Who's the guy that did? Was it John Hughes? Not John Hughes. Who was the guy that
no,
did the homo? John Williams.
he
Danny
did
Elfman and
scores.
John Williams. They're like my two favorite people that made movie scores.
Excellent. Lots of bangers.
That's right.
Let's see. I think it's your turn. Yeah, I got three left.
Okay, I got Little Shop of Horrors with
Oh,
Rick
nice,
Moranis.
nice.
Saw that movie with my cousins growing up. We rented it. It was hilarious and kind of weird.
Well, my wife just seen it. Think this year. If not this year, maybe we watched it for last October.
Yeah,
But again, she never seen it before, so we played it and she like really dug it. And I was like, yeah, they got, it's on Broadway. They do, or it
yeah.
was on Broadway where we could see a play on it. And I've seen like a local school play of it where they get the big puppet and everything.
It's pretty
Um,
awesome. It was a
and
cool movie.
it's a cool movie. I did Steve Martin's in it, like
Yeah.
as the crazy dentist. Is so good.
Yep.
Lot of cool cameos with that, like
It just
people coming
reminds me
up.
of watching it with my cousins,
Oh, okay.
Tabitha, and shout out to Tabitha and Stacy.
There you go. I first watched it with my mom. She had put that on. And I like so they have the ending how it is, where they're all, nice and happy, and then you could kind of see like the Audrey 2 like
Yeah,
plants or whatever, and you're like, hey, but there's an original ending that they had and they tested it and it didn't go too well with people, but they have since found the footage
oh, it
and put it
released it.
together and released it, and it's like 5 minutes long of like the plants basically taking over the world and destroying this whole scene of like them going through the city and like knocking buildings down with their vines. It's like
Wow.
it's wild, and it's like, well, it's cool that it's out and people could view it, but it makes more for a darker
Right.
ending essentially. So little shop of
Interesting.
horrors.
I'll have to see if it's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you could just Little Shop of Horrors alternate ending.
I'll
Boom,
do it.
watch it. So because I watched it and it was like at some point I'm like, This is going for too long. Like why it's
You're like,
dragging on." I'm like,
thank God they didn't do this.
right. It's like I get it. Like, okay, maybe a couple scenes of knocking a building down, but they were like, and it costs like a ton to make, and they never used it essentially. And I'm like, so much of the movie's budget went into that.
When to that ending? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of went for I don't know if I would call this a B movie, but Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Never saw it.
I kind of feel like it's a classic Halloween movie. They've certainly have now. If you go to Spirit Halloween, they have a lot of the merchandise for this
Okay.
movie there now. They have because it's these alien clowns.
Yeah.
They land their spaceships looks like a circus tent, and the way they capture people, they
That's
have
funny.
special guns. So one shoots like popcorn, one shoots cotton candy. So you can get these as like props at Spirit Halloween. And
Delicious.
clowns. People's afraid of clowns, so they're like, let's play into that. I always remember a dope scene with one of the clowns is doing shadow puppets,
Oh Lord.
and see the shadow puppet on the wall, and the people are looking and they're laughing. He's doing this, and then he changes his hands, and it's like a T Rex,
Oh,
and
to
then
eat some.
it eats them.
Oh wow.
it's,
That's
it's like
pretty
pretty creative.
pretty campy, but pretty funny.
Right. And I'm pretty sure I don't know if it's out now or if it's coming out, but there's a video game that they're working on, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So
That should be good.
people dig it.
Sweet. All right, you ready for my next one?
Yeah.
It has the crazy actor Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, okay.
Disturbia.
I know I've seen it.
So
Remind me of the
it's based off an older film. I
okay.
can't remember exactly what the name of that older film is. I don't think that older one's called Disturbia, but maybe basically he has like a broke leg, I think. So he's tucked up in his room and all he has to keep himself entertained is his binoculars. So
Right.
he's watching the neighbors. What's going on? What's going on? Well, one of his neighbors he thinks kills somebody. He thinks he witnesses a murder.
Okay.
So then he's trying to get him and his girlfriend to go over to this house and see exactly what's going on.
Showing the trailer
Oh,
there a
maybe
little
you
bit.
know what
Yeah.
it is? Is it because he's on house arrest?
Oh, yeah, that's what it looks like in
Maybe
house
that's what
arrest.
it is. He's on house arrest.
What's the where the heck is the synopsis on this? It just says a teen living under house arrest becomes convinced his neighbor is a serial killer.
I
Okay.
loved it. I thought it was a great movie. When did it come out?
2007,
Yeah,
PG-13, Shia LaBeouf.
there you go.
Nice.
I don't normally like Shia LaBeouf. I thought he was awful in Transformers. I think he made me kind of hate the Transformers movies, but he worked in this movie.
He did good.
He did good.
It almost reminds me, not on my list, but of a movie we mentioned last year, um, was The Burbs,
The Burbs, yeah,
where you see your neighbors and he's like, "Oh, I think they killed someone. Let's try to
yeah.
investigate."
The
It's always
Burbs
like
was
that.
I recently watched The Burbs within the last year. I loved it.
That one wasn't on my list, but it definitely a classic. If you guys, Tom Hanks is in it.
Oh,
It's
dude,
it's like
Corey
80s
Feldman is
comedy
in
horror.
that.
Yes, Corey Feldman is in that. That was one of those I was going to mention where you're talking about Corey Feldman. Um, two more on my list. I put Hocus Pocus,
Okay, yeah, little Disney movie.
little Disney movie. I just got back from Disney for Mickey's Halloween Horror Nights, and they had the Sanderson sisters come out at the castle and do a little skit. So I feel like they're synonymous with Halloween. So it's a classic movie. They did come out with a sequel. There is a Hocus Pocus 2. In case you guys want to check that out. Meh, it's all right.
Fair enough.
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
It's not as classic as the classic. But growing up seeing that, sure that was on, TV here and there, so you certainly can
I don't
catch
think
it.
I've ever seen Hocus Pocus ever.
Got some witches in it. It's got Sarah Michelle Gellar in it
Love
from
her.
Sex and the City. She's one of the
Wait,
witches.
wait. Sarah Michelle Gellar is
Or
from
no,
Sex
wait,
and the City. She's from she's
wait, am
from
I?
she's from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Wait, no, I'm confusing people. No, not Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Right celebrity.
But if you're looking for Halloween TV shows, check out Sabrina Teenage Witch.
There you go. My next one I know I had to mention last year because it traumatized me as a child. Cat's Eye.
Oh, I don't know if I know this one.
Stephen King's Cat's Eye. There's this one scene. So it's a two-part movie, kind of like the Twilight Zone. But the second part, this troll comes out of the woods, gets in this house, opens up the wall, and is living in this girl's wall in her room. And guess who the girl is? A
I don't know.
young Drew Barrymore.
Oh, see, how about that?
So at one point, this troll climbs up her bed. He's climbing up her bed, and he pinches her nose, and he starts to suck the breath out of her.
Like taking the essence out of
He's
her
taking the
soul.
essence out of her. And this cat, this is why I love cats. I have 3 of them. Shadow, Hurley, and Mitty. Love you guys. Thank you for keeping the trolls out of my house. Uh, jumps up on the bed. You can see the troll in the little picture there coming out the
Right.
wall. And he attacks the troll and saves the little girl. And the troll has a little knife. I think he cuts the cat. The cat somehow.
I wonder, yeah, how I didn't see this movie.
Well,
It's
my
definitely
aunt watched it. My
okay.
aunt had rented it. And I saw it
1985
at
came
my
out.
aunt's house, probably between 86, 87,
Yeah.
and I remember just being like, "That is I never wanna go to sleep again for the rest of my life."
What is that scene? This guy's smoking like 500
This is
cigarettes.
the this is so that's the first part,
Oh,
and the
okay.
cat saves this guy from cat's awesome. Love him.
Cat's Eye. Okay. I'll try to have to look for that one.
Cat's Eye. It's definitely
1985.
it's worth a watch.
Cool. All right, rounding up my list. Save this one for last. I figured it'd be a classic one for Halloween for sure, and that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There you go. Never seen it.
Come on. Not
No,
even once? No,
not even
not even
once.
on TV?
Don't think so.
So it's a musical. but also a Halloween movie, and it's got a cult following. They'll have showings of this at local theaters, and I guess I forget the reason why, but a lot of people bring spoons to the theater, and there's a part in the movie I think he says, "Does anyone have a spoon?" or something like that, and they all throw the spoon at the screen.
Wow.
But yeah, a lot of classic. Let's do the time warp again. Classic songs in it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting story for sure. Not sure when it came out. I guess it's definitely 80s, right? Could even be 70s. Rocky Horror. Yeah, 75.
Yeah, I was gonna guess 70s.
Okay.
Pretty
But
cool.
classic one. Check it out if you haven't already. What do you got for the last one?
All right, this is on the fly. I just thought of it as I was talking about Cat's Eye. Gremlins. Because
Yeah.
Gremlins and Cat's
Okay.
Eye were the 2 movies that freaked me out the most as a kid, and I guess Ghostbusters would be a 3rd.
Right.
I was so convinced that gremlins lived under my bed at night, I would run and jump on my bed so nothing can touch my feet. But
Cause
it's
cause
kinda
of the
like
movie
a
Gremlins though. Because they weren't ever under a bed in the movie, right?
no, but they could be under
That's a
my
good
bed.
hiding. It's a good hiding spot.
Yeah. If they were gonna get your feet, that's where they would be,
That's
under your
true.
bed.
Or couch, right?
Yeah, but there was a lot of space under my bed. Anyway, um, now I think it's an amazing movie. I love that it's Christmas. I think the funniest scene is when the lady flies out the roof on the chair thing. But yeah, Gremlins.
I'm gonna say again, this doubles like Nightmare Before Christmas because you can
Yeah,
watch this as a Christmas movie as
yep.
well.
And there's a fun little scene in there where one of the gremlins, I think it's Spike, is playing the little Coleco Donkey Kong arcade.
Oh, nice. Yeah, little tabletop one
Yep, that I had briefly one point.
at one point.
So
Sweet.
yeah,
Yeah. So those are some classic Halloween or horror movies or spooky movies, what have you.
yeah.
If you
Sorry, I'm a slacker and made my list up on the fly, but
Hey, we got it done.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie about it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
there are certainly if you guys dig, scary movies, there's a lot of fun short horror movies just on YouTube that you can watch as well. There's even an awesome Friday the 13th one called Never Hike Alone.
Ooh, I like that.
And
That's a
it's like fantastic. And it's
good
short.
words of wisdom.
It's like, you know, maybe 40 minutes, something like that, but really well done. And they made a prequel to that, which was what was it called? Don't Hike. It takes place in
To South
winter
Central
while
Los
drinking
Angeles while
while
drinking
drinking juice.
gin and juice.
So I have seen those, and I think there was even like I think they've done a Halloween one. Oh, and I just watched a Freddy one as well that they did that has one of the actors that was in one of the Freddy movies, and they try to make it like a sequel. Like Alone two. Let's
Never
see.
hike alone. Never do anything alone.
Did they just call it Never Hike Alone 2?
Russ, let me ask you this question
Okay.
while you're thinking.
Never Hike in the Snow. There, I found it.
As a child, did it bother you that your adult parents had somebody to sleep with and you didn't?
Oh, like so if I got scared and I was like staying in my room alone.
Mhm.
I don't think it did.
I always
I
thought,
never I never went in their room to like stay with them, but
"Oh, dude, my son sleeps in my bed like, at least twice a week."
oh no kidding.
He comes and gets in my bed, and I'm like, "Oh, there's Colin." But, when I was a kid and my wife, me and her have talked about this in great detail, but, like, I always thought it was like, "Why do you get someone to sleep with? You're an adult. You're the last person that needs protection, but you have someone with you.
Right.
You're not
There's no
alone.
logic.
I'm in here. I'm 6 years old, and I'm all by myself. If something
Right.
crazy happens, I can't do anything. You're an adult. This makes no sense to me." Just wanted to throw that out there. Deep
And then
thoughts by
it
Jack Handy.
it did change a little bit where I took my bedroom and moved it to the basement so then I would have more room, but then now you're in the basement. More
Yeah,
spooky.
that's right.
Make
Did
sure
you
to
get
have some
creeped out down there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anything weird ever happen?
No. I mean the only thing weird was I had my band equipment down there one time, and I had my drum set up, and we
Uh-huh.
had these like kind of like drop ceiling type things in there, and a snake fell out the ceiling and hit the drum, and then was on the ground. I was like, "What was that?" I look over, and then I was like screaming,
Like a real
and,
snake.
and then my mom was like, "I was like, you didn't hear me screaming?" And she's like, "Oh, I thought you were singing."
Ah!
But
They sound so similar.
I just picked him up, and it was just a a garden snake, so I just put him outside.
Dude, you know what the craziest thing that ever happened in this house was?
Okay.
So, my kids used to have this Fisher Price toy, and it had like a carousel on it. And when you turned the carousel, what you had to do with your hands, it would play this one specific tune. And the only way it would play that tune is if you spun that carousel. Well, one night I'm upstairs and I hear that carousel tune start playing. And I know that nobody else is downstairs. And I walk downstairs and I turn it off and I think to myself, if I hear this thing play again, then I'm really going to lose my crap. I have no idea how or why that played, but I will say it's kind of giving me chill bumps to think about it because that was weird.
I will add to that now that I have a daughter. We have a lot of these like toys hanging around that do music stuff,
Yeah,
and she has this turtle that
cool.
plays music and stuff. And I was in here earlier tonight, and my daughter's in bed, and my wife had came home, and she was in the bathroom doing something, and then I hear in the living room the turtle going off, and it gets stuck on this part where it's like, "Goodbye, goodbye." I'm like, "It's a freaking ghost. He's gonna
Yeah,
murder us."
that's hilarious.
It's saying goodbye.
Oh god. It's
I'm like, take those batteries out.
yeah, I think I took the batteries out of that carousel. That freaked me out so bad. I'm like, "Why?" I was like,
So
"Oh, I don't like
keep
that."
an eye on your kids' toys, everyone, before you go to bed.
That's right.
And
'Cause they're alone while you're sleeping with your adult partner, your kids are alone. It makes no sense. I don't understand it.
if you guys do get freaked out, feel free to call us, leave a message. We got 949-682-9277. You can leave a voicemail. Tell us some spooky stories.
Dude, that wouldn't that be great? Tell us your scary stories,
Yeah.
please. Do it
Got it.
now. Do it now.
Phone in. If you want to remember the number, it's on our website. It's on every description of our video. So just check out the weeklywarpipe.com for that. Support the show. We got patreon.com/Russ Lyman. Our top Patreon supporters are Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, and Retroholic 16. Support the show. And that's about it. Come back every Saturday for new weekly Warp Pipes and Wednesday for Warp Pipe
You
Wednesdays.
better do it or we're gonna get you.
We're gonna get you.
I'm gonna make you live with my Fisher Price toy that comes on all by itself.
That's it. Stay spooky, everyone.